Hello and welcome back to Game Vitamins. My name is Nick, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing how crazy Cyber Weekend was on TCGPlayer. As a small seller and a up-and-coming Magic the Gathering business, I'm going to go into my overall revenue, what I sold, what I shipped out, a little bit about profit, as well as how I geared up and prepared for the weekend and generated a lot more sales than I ever thought I would have. But first, if you're new here, my channel is all about growing a Magic the Gathering business from the ground up. So if that's something that might interest you, you want to learn what to do, what not to do, and let me be your guinea pig, follow along for plenty of interesting videos. And if you're a returning viewer, as always, thank you very much for tuning in again. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first of all, I just want to talk a little bit about the TCGPlayer Cyber Weekend. In case you aren't aware, but if you're watching this video, you probably know a lot about it and you probably bought things on TCGPlayer this past weekend. And actually, it's still going on until end of day tomorrow. But anyway, TCGPlayer was giving 10% store credit back on any purchase. And if you were a subscriber, it was even more. So people were talking about this in terms of selling a lot of product because people will go out and buy things that they otherwise might not have because they can get 10 or more % back in future credit towards other purchases. For example, Foundation's collector boxes jumped up to like $350 at their peak. Unfortunately, I think I sold a handful of them a little too early. This is what I've got remaining. I have one of them posted, kind of seeing what goes on there. But anyway, so much was moving, so many orders were being placed, and I want to go over a little bit of how I prepared for the weekend to start and get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty with the numbers, what it was that I was selling the most of, and just the general profit, what it kind of looked like. It's going to be a little bit of a rough estimate. I probably won't be able to give you like a really deep analysis. There's still a lot that I need to pack, so we're going to make it a little bit more of an update video, a little quicker. But anyway, let's start by how I prepared to get all of this stuff sold. Now, TCGPlayer was obviously, they've done this many years. They wanted to spur sales and got a ton of people on the platform. So I'm sure they made a lot of money off of people on all of their processing fees from all the stuff that they sold. I can't imagine how much they took out of all of this weekend. But leading up to it, what I was doing was opening up, which again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but opened up a ton of my Karlov Manor boxes. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out on my channel. I bought a ton of Karlov Manor with the hopes that I'd make some money. It worked out. But I opened up a lot of my inventory, a lot of the sealed boxes leading up to this Cyber Weekend. I wanted to make sure that I had as much posted as possible. Now, I don't have the biggest inventory. It's nearing about 10,000 items. I'm pretty proud of that. As a one-man show, it took a lot to get all of that uploaded. There are duplicates in there, but I got a good amount out there to have a pretty wide inventory base, and it certainly showed in terms of orders where people were picking up just all kinds of cards that were not selling before. And I essentially just went through and scanned everything in, spent some late nights just getting everything uploaded, and sort of keeping my prices a little bit higher because going into the weekend, especially with stuff like Foundations, I kind of assumed prices would move up a little bit. One, a lot of people would be purchasing, and two, I needed to have a little bit of buffer so things wouldn't just sell before the weekend actually kicked off. So I went into it a little bit of a higher price point on my cards, a lot more inventory. I'm actually including a couple days prior to the Cyber Weekend because that's when I did my big push, and I kind of want to encapsulate all of that. But man, I got so many orders. As you can see, these are all legitimate orders. I've turned everything upside down so you can't see any info, but and I have, again, a lot more that I need to pack. So I ended up getting everything in place for Cyber Weekend. I saved a few things off to the side on purpose for this exact weekend, such as these Marvel Secret Lair drops that I got a few different non-foil bundles of my foundations, because things had just been going crazy with that anyway. And I figured if people are getting 10% back, maxing at $35, if it did hit that $350 mark, which it did, that would be maxing out the amount of cash back. So I figured I would wait. I sold them a little too early. I sold them all for around three of them for about 310. Still happy with that. Can't be mad. That's actually, I got two of them piled up in here, one in another one of these boxes, and then all the rest of them are Secret Lair. But anyway, I set some of this stuff aside because you want to have the inventory for when people are chomping at the bit to buy. So I've talked a lot about how I have been trying to develop a very wide inventory base, how I'm trying to price a little bit higher because I have so many multiples of different cards. I've talked a little bit about my pricing philosophy, but one other thing I did once things were about to go live was that I actually, on top of having a higher price point on my cards, I enabled free shipping because I felt that if I got the volume at a higher price point, it should make up for a good amount of the shipping charges. Also, shipping, you lose about, what is it? Maybe like 20 cents to TCGPlayer processing fees anyway when you're charging shipping. So really on some of these items, especially higher value cards, which is what I really focused on selling, all the Surveil lands from Karlov Manor, if I upped it by, say 5% on one of the $20 cards, I would get that dollar back. And on some I wouldn't, but ideally I was going to be selling multiples of these because I had so many, which I did, luckily. I mean, some of these were, orders for one of every Surveil land or packs of 4 Undercity Sewers, $100 for 4 of those cards. Some of those are packed. Well, actually, no, they're not packed up in here. Some of them are packed up in the bubble mailers because I needed to track them. But I wanted to make sure that when people were putting their carts together, I would have a lot of the inventory, but also the free shipping, which would help maybe get me into the cart optimizer a little bit easier. Also, getting upgraded to a gold star seller. I really pushed hard to get there before this, and I did. And I think that I'm pretty sure the cart optimizer, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't bought cards on TCGPlayer for a little while. I've been trying to sell them, not buy more. And I believe the middle one is the default, and that has gold star seller. So unless people are purposefully lowering their card optimizer, being a gold star seller does help you, but you need to, be selling pretty frequently in order to maintain it as well as get it. So I got gold star seller. I upped my price on product. I scanned in a ton of items, got all of my backlog inventory prepped, ready to go, monitored it heavily once things went live, only releasing one box at a time just as things were ticking up. These are some of the things you need to do. I changed my prices very frequently because I noticed quickly that some stuff was immediately selling out. Actually, if you were on there and you were buying anything, you would know that they crashed for the first hour of the sale. People were mad about that, big mad. I was checking X because I was trying to place some big orders for boxes to open up and sell, and nothing was going through. But anyway, stuff was selling very fast, so I was monitoring all of my prices, and I believe that you need to do this stuff day to day when you're selling on TCGPlayer, but for a weekend like this, things are moving quick. So you want to make sure that you're keeping things updated. And that's pretty much what I did to gear up for it, as well as things were sort of unfolding, just making sure that, I didn't put up all of my Secret Lair storms people are going to yell at me about this, I bet. Oh, you're a scalper. I mean, guys, I'm starting a Magic the Gathering business here. That's literally the point of this channel. These were going to be hot. I knew they were going to be hot. I had to get a couple. Actually, I probably should have sold them earlier and really scalped because they plummeted in price. I mean, I've made money on them, but if I just sold them the moment I got them, That would have been great. But without, too much on that, I was making sure I'd only upload like one of each at a time because they were selling quick. I would upload them, they would sell within a couple minutes. And then I was like, dang it, I should have kept the price up. So that's why whenever you're selling anything, you don't necessarily always want to dump all of your inventory at certain price points. You want to watch the market, be able to react as things change. And that is how you're going to squeeze out every dollar that you can in this business, because all of it really matters, especially if you're selling maybe bigger items like foundations boxes where you're not going to get more of these at $200 a box. That's just not going to happen. So squeeze out every dollar you can. Might keep one, just for the heck of it, see where it goes. That's why I'm trying to figure out if I really want to dump these, or I don't know. What do you guys think? Where do you think foundations is going? One of them's listed. If anyone wants it, it's in my TCGPlayer account, link below. So anyway, that is what I did. I was up until like 2 a.m. last night packing orders. Again, I have a lot more to do, so I'm probably going to be up really late again today. I just wanted to get this video out and uploaded before the start of the week, just to sort of reflect. This channel, again, is all about building the business, and I really want to dive into some of the numbers as well, just so you know where I stand. So anyone who's been watching this channel has known that I've been buying a lot of product to open up, list, sell, watch some of my videos if you are new here. And with that risk came some reward. So let's talk a little bit about the numbers behind all of this. Obviously, there were some heavy hitter products, but there were a ton of singles orders, as you can see. And I worked out my revenue over the past couple days, as well as a rough gross profit. And I will explain that. Some of you will maybe disagree with how I calculate it. We'll see. Okay, let's get into the numbers. I'm not going to bring you down to the laptop because for some reason TCGPlayer, the way I usually track all of my orders and calculate out my cost of goods sold, tracking my profit, it's not working correctly now. I can't export everything from shipping, so I did sort of a makeshift way. But anyway, let me open up my laptop and go over some of these numbers with you. Okay, so my laptop is hidden behind the mountain of boxes, but I'll just be glancing over to it for reference. But in terms of overall revenue, including product price and shipping costs, that's what was charged to the customer, I generated $2,800 in revenue. So $2,800 in revenue is above and beyond anything I expected. I mean, again, like 3 of these was $900 of that. The secret layer cards, that was probably another maybe like $500. So let's just say that was $1,400. No, maybe it wasn't $500. I think it was less than that. I still have a lot of them. I didn't really sell all of them. Anyway, just for the sake of it, let's just say $1,400, which means another $1,400, about 50% of it came from singles. And with that, after all of the processing fees, the payment processing fees, the things that TCGPlayer hits you with, as well as my shipping costs, this one was expensive because I wanted to put tracking and insurance and everything on there. These ones I got around average $5 because they're pretty lightweight, and about $4 to $5 for any of these. My standard like 91 cents for any of the general lower value stuff that doesn't need tracking. After all of those expenses, my total to me was $2,240. So right there, TCGPlayer, you guys made out. Actually, I can do a quick highlight here. TCGPlayer, $400. They made about $400 for my sales. That's not as bad as I thought, actually. But I thought they would have taken more. And then the shipping, they made a good $160 off of me. So cost of goods sold, obviously, got to make sure you account for that. The way I have been calculating my cost of goods on my singles is that as I open boxes, I take the total amount of cards that I get out of those boxes and the total amount that I've spent on all of those boxes and divide it. So I'm not doing some weighted average or something where the $20 cards get assigned a higher cost of goods sold, because it would just be a nightmare to track, especially when it's already a lot to keep up with shipping all of this. Very grateful, by the way. I never imagined I would ever get that much in terms of orders this quickly, but keeping up with it would be really tough. So my average cost of goods on a single card is like about 25 cents, 26 cents. And I multiply that out by the amount of cards in an order. And on some orders where there's a ton, there's one over here, I don't know if you can see it, it's in one of the yellow envelopes, has like 30 or 40 cards in it. I lost money on that one, name of the game. They ordered a lot of commons, uncommons, cheaper cards from my wide inventory that I preach about. But with that, that's part of the game. You have them so they can get added into some of these other singles, but then other people might just be ordering your cheaper cards, and that's just part of it. So I'll lose based off of my calculations on some, but then others, my profit just looks crazy because one person who orders a Undercity Sewers is going to be a 25-cent cost of goods sold on a $24 card. So that's where I figure as things sell and I sell bulk lots and I sell other things, it'll average out where a lot of items will probably be like loss leaders. I have a lot of losing products, but then a lot of the big profits from other cards are what will offset that in the books. So when I calculate all of my cost of goods sold, including all of like the foundations and secret lair, I walked away with $1,260 worth of profit. Actually, I rounded that up by $2. Yeah, I'll give it to myself. Actually, I sold a couple cards to one of my buddies this weekend. So yeah, $1,260. Sold him some lands, gave me like $2. So $1,260 in profit. Again, you might argue with the way that I calculate that profit. I think it makes sense for me the way I want to keep my books, but very happy. It was a lot of work. I know so many of you guys ask, how much do you make doing this? Is it worth doing? It can be. I mean, I don't think this weekend will be replicated day to day by any means. Again, I've never gotten this many orders. This is over 100 orders. So these 100 orders, I just took the most recent 100. I actually got more than that in the last few days, but I just wanted to be able to calculate it out a little quicker. So, I'll just say 1260, just so I don't stretch too far back into my overall profits. But I would say if you're willing to put in the time and start, really grinding, again, I was up till 2 a.m. last night packing these things. That was a lot. And again, I'll probably be up late tonight doing it too. So, especially since I want to get this video up. But I'm kind of rambling. The point of this video was just really an update, because anyone who's been watching this channel knows I started off with none of this stuff. My first video, I literally had no product. I was just sort of sharing my theory of how I was going to start, and that was about 2 months ago. And the fact that I've even been able to generate the sales that I have, I feel like I can give myself a little pat on the back. Pretty pumped about it. A lot more to come. Like I mentioned, during this very weekend, I placed an order for 36 boxes. I got 11% back on TCGPlayer. I got another 1.5% back because of my cashback credit card. Never overspend, but always use a cashback credit card if you're buying stuff to resell. I mean, if you are in a state that has sales tax, it offsets that a little bit. Find opportunities where you can, whenever you can get cash back on this product, on any of these products. So with all of that, I got some really good deals on what I believe are going to be high EV sets. Do I slip the names? I've already ordered them, and I don't think enough people will want to buy solely because I say I'm doing it. Okay, I'll tell you, because that's what this is about. It's about a community. So I bought 24 boxes of Unfinity. My average cost with my cash back and my credit was about $87 a box. Expected EV, if you watch my first video on Karlov Manor, you'll see the full breakdown. I'm going to make one about Unfinity as well. Just cover a couple different sets. I just think that it'll make for interesting videos. Bought another 12 of, oh man, what did I buy? March of the Machine. I bought 12 March of the Machine. Cost on those were in the 90s, low 90s. Expected EV on those also seems like there's going to be some good profit. I just actually burnt through 6 boxes of Baldur's Gate last night with some of my friends, and they helped me unpack them all. We did great on those. I'd like to get more. I wish I could. I got them at a pretty good price, and now they're a little more expensive. So those are some of the ones I'm working with right now. Breaking down boxes and getting profit through those. It's a lot of work, guys. It's not for the faint of heart. I mean, you're just ripping tons of packs. It won't make it super exciting. Luckily, I have friends who really enjoy doing it, so that helps. But getting everything scanned individually, sorting through all the cards, it's a lot of work. But right now, it's the niche I'm in because I don't have access to selling large amounts of sealed product, and I don't have access to getting super duper cheap product all the time consistently. So I need to always keep my eyes peeled. I'll talk more about how I evaluate these boxes. Again, watch my Karlov Manor series where that's another thing. I bought like 24 more boxes of Karlov. You guys are going to love me for that. I bought like almost 50 boxes total of that. It's doing so well, guys. So many used my affiliate link. I really appreciate that. For such a small channel, I mean, it's cool to see people sort of rallying around the cause, the Karlov craze, as I called it. The boxes are more expensive now. Everything I got on Amazon was legit. I know some people were scared about that. I don't know. I'm not going to vouch for Amazon. I know that there's a lot of messes there, but I took the risk and it's worked out. So yeah, 50 boxes of Karlov, 36 boxes on the way, Baldur's Gate 6. I've gone through so many boxes. Okay, I'm rambling now. I hope this is a little update as to where I'm at, where I'm going, things that I'm working on. I'm already at that point where I'm like, do I get one of the card machine, like a card sorting machine? That's going to be a lot of money. I don't know. I've reached out just to inquire, but there's a whole lot within this game. It's a lot of fun if you enjoy doing it. And if you enjoy trying to scrounge for a buck, go for it. Someone made a comment. I was like, they wish they had time to work for $2 an hour. Hope this is proof it was more than that. I mean, it wasn't a great hourly wage. It's not nearly anything compared to my normal day-to-day business, but it's a lot of fun. If you enjoy it and you're willing to put in the work and explore the market, you can make some money doing it. So anyway, that's the update for me as of now. Things are going okay. I ought to get back to packing up some orders. If anyone ordered from me, comment down below. That would be awesome. If I haven't packed it already, maybe I'll throw in a little bonus thing for you. But anyway, thank you all. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We have a lot more coming in the future. So many more boxes to explore and profit to be made. Am I bad for saying that? I don't know. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.